Our map has loaded up, so we're going to go ahead, jump into the game, and get game number 5 underway. One of these players is going to the grand finals. Down here in the bottom right of Nimbus, it's our Terran player from Millennium, ForGG. Some fantastic mech play out of him so far. Great harassment skills, great defense skills as well. But we cannot count this guy out yet. The current world champion, our Zerg player from StarTale, it's live.
Now, I would have to give these positions advantage life, because we do see the pocket natural of ForGG facing the main of life. So if life gets to those mutalisks, he has a lot of airspace to harass on. He has a direct path, a direct flight to that natural if he so desires. But we haven't really seen life comfortably get to mutas yet because of the early aggression with Hellions, with Hellbats, with Banshees. And I think we might see the same from ForGG. It has been working for him nearly every game. So long as he makes a few tweaks, he doesn't completely overcommit to a third base. He plays a bit smarter, doesn't take too much damage from a rogue counterattack especially.
God, I'd love to see that. And you know what? Life is like perfectly set to play a macro game on this map against mech specifically, because on every Zerg versus Protoss game I've seen him play here, if it goes long, he goes Swarm Host. Just the layout of the map, he likes Swarm Hosts here. So that's also a counter that you can use against mech. It
is definitely a transition you can go into in the late game here. It does a lot of work, but I mean, I always get nervous when I see life go Swarm Host, because he loses a lot of those games as well.
That is true.
It's kind of the opposite of what life is, which is high aggression, like very, very fast-paced games, a lot of harassment, and Swarm Host, you're kind of just sitting there bulldozing the front and trying to pick off what you can with free units.
Well, right now we do see both players going for economic builds here. Command center first, of course, for ForGG. A quick hatchery for life into the spawning pool and gas.
Yeah, it's looking very, very standard here. Very standard for the map. Fast CC, no surprise. Very, very easy to defend any sort of early sort of a pressure with a block on the ramp there.
And it will be a little bit before we can tell exactly what these guys are going to end up doing. I would imagine we're going to see the speed from life.
And I'm going to imagine we're going to see the very fast Hellions from ForGG.
Yeah. I really like it on this map as well, I have to say, because when life tries to take his third base down the ramp, it's going to be really hard to push the creep there quickly, to get his queens out to help defend, and some Hellion pressure can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's actually quite often we'll see Zerg struggle to get creep spread on this map because it is such a big map. It is very awkward. There's a big kind of space from the main base to that third base, and sometimes even Zergs will put that natural or their first hatchery on the low ground just to start creep spreading early.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't done it this time, and he's actually keeping a couple drones on gas. This could point towards some sort of cheeky play, don't you think?
It could very well. It actually kind of makes me nervous. I do not want to see him go for Ling Bane on this map, though he did against Tasia and won quite convincingly, but he's getting a perfect scout off here with the Zerglings. And it's a great timing, too, because he cannot lift that Barracks. He's going to have to force out a Hellion first, which is going to slow down everything for ForGG.
Yeah, that is quite annoying. A great play there by Life. These are the types of little tiny things that Life does all the time that other Zergs are lacking. You know, to just slow everything down. Like, for instance, last game we saw him sidling under the starport so it couldn't land and delay it by a good 10-15 seconds.
That was fantastic. What a good move there. And we're seeing actually a second gas added for life, going into a very, very fast lair as well. I'm very, very curious, what are we going to see from him here? Maybe a two-base muter, perhaps?
I think you're right. In these spots, you were already saying, Moonglade, that life should have an advantage. That back natural, that first expansion that ForGG took, is really close to life's base. He could fly there super quick with mutas.
Yeah, he could, and it would do great considering what we see come out of ForGG nearly every game here. Hellion Banshee, not too good against mutalisks, and I think that's exactly what we might be seeing here.
But the thing is, he just did a great scout with that Hellion. He got in there, he saw the layer was morphing, and he saw both gases being taken at life's expansion. So he looks at this, and I think that you can only think a couple things, like, okay, this could be mutalisks, this could be some sort of weird Roach-type build, but with that much gas, it feels like Mutas.
Yeah, when you see that many gases out of it, I think it almost has to be Mutas. I mean, it can be Roach, but it's a very gas-heavy Roach, and maybe the transition into Mutas later.
Yeah.
It can be something else crazy. I'm not entirely sure, but ForGG's still going to push. He's going to apply the pressure now anyway. He's going to get a great idea what it's going to be. He's going to see that spine at the front. He's going to see a lot of things and be like, okay, it seems like you do want to go for those fast Mutas. And already adding that armory, I think we're going to see a Hellbat push.
Yeah, it certainly does look like it. Now, of course, that armory can help out greatly by making a Thor against Mutas as well if he has a tech lab on one of his factories. But he only has one factory right now. And he is making an engineering bay, which points towards him thinking Mutas are going to come into play.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. These Banshee actually already doing a lot of work here, kind of pulling the Queens out of position. We could see a Hellion run by if ForGG desired to. And then look at this. Already turning him into Hellbats, and right up the ramp he goes.
A Hellbat walk-up is what this is. A couple of Banelings actually run in and get a great hit off. The Zergling's starting to surround, and it looks like Life is going to hold this without any issue.
Yeah, not the best splitting from ForGG there. He took 2 full Bane hits on just about everything, as well as losing the Banshee. Oh, this is not looking good at all for ForGG.
No, certainly not. But right now he is making a lot of anti-air defense. He's sending up another Banshee. Of course, 5 Mutalisks on the way. But with a Thor, with some Vikings and some missile turrets going up, I think he can minimize damage from the Muta counterattack.
Yeah, he has made, he's got perfect anti-air at this point. But that's the name of the game against mech. You have to be ready to transition again and again and again. You simply cannot be hoping to just kill with one tech. You got to have Roaches waiting. You got to have those Roach upgrades going, and then ready to transition even from that, whether back into Mutas, into Hydra, into late game, into Swarm hosts. There's so many options here. It's just about choosing the right one for the right time.
All right, well, we'll see where he wants to go to next. He is getting that Overlord speed, of course. Try to dodge around with his Overlords and detect a bit quicker with his Overseers. Going to be flying around with these Mutas. Only a few Mutas actually out, 6 total on the map, and that might be all he makes for a bit with all this anti-air already made for ForGG.
I think so. Considering we did see 2 Vikings already shooting down an Overlord here, it kind of gives away, okay, you're investing quite a lot into anti-air, and we did see a Thor as well. So I do really like only 6 Mutas. Taking that 3rd base, still ForGG sitting on 2 here. Very, very awkward situation for him at the moment. Looks like he will be trying to push down and kind of play more of a passive game into the mid game.
Yeah. I like it, Moonglade. I think that no one's going to die anytime soon. And that means a big mech game on a big 4-player map.
Oh, yeah. We got to sit tight and enjoy this one. And why not? It is Game 5. Whoever loses this game is going to the loser bracket. Whoever wins is going into the Grand Finals.
And the Grand Finals is exactly where you want to be. $30K for first place. $30,000. I mean, I know we're in Sweden and it's expensive here, but even in Sweden, $30,000 is a hell of a lot of money.
That'll keep you going for a month.
Well, it looks like right now we have a lot of Roaches on the way. ForGG's been poking around the map a little bit, trying to do some harassment, but both of them realize that right now they can't really kill each other. But I think the first real aggression here should be coming out of Life.
Yeah, and one of the big things we haven't noted just yet is that all the Banshees did get killed from those Mutalisks. So it really opened a huge opportunity for Life to go straight into that Roach tech, go into that Roach speed. And he has seen the composition as well from ForGG, which is nothing but Thors and Hellbats.
Yeah, well, we do have a couple siege tanks on the way, and if those were out right now, I'd say he holds this beautifully and Life just runs, but Life could try to make a move here with these Roaches. His speed is about to finish.
Yeah, he's got to focus down those Thors. Yeah, he's got to focus down those Thors before anything else. We do see the Mutas on the one Banshee as well. It will take him down. Things are looking great for Life in this engagement.
Wow, this is a fantastic little attack by Life. Some more Roaches are actually coming in right now. A couple siege tanks did pop out, but he's got to be careful because these Roaches are just so fast.
They are so fast. The 2 tanks are out here. Life might have to settle for this 3rd base, but stopping the 2 gases of this 3rd base is huge against mech. It's going to slow down everything. And Life already has the next tech switch up and running here. He's upgrading Swarm Host Endurance. It is going to help out so much with the Locust, and it's going to, I mean, it's the perfect transition from here.
Yeah, I really do like it. He's going to force him into a lot of siege tanks. Then maybe we see him flip back into Mutalisks. Who knows? Life's going to have to kind of play it by ear, but he's going up to the Hive. He's getting the Hydralisk Den. He's got to complete his tech tree.
He does, and he can. And he should be adding a 4th base as well anytime soon here. He does know that the 3rd CC has landed. And you always want to be at least one base up, especially against mech, because mech is just ridiculously cost efficient.
Well, right now, these roaches coming down into the third base of ForGG. Oh, no, he's losing SCVs, he's losing mules, and he's losing mining time. Some great harassment by Life as he goes up by 40 supply.
Huge lead there. We're starting to see Hydras being added to the mix. I like this a lot. I mean, the position of everything up. Oh, hold on that thought. We're actually seeing every roach get blown up by a lot of tanks on the ramp.
What did he like target that plate or something? I thought that at least one tank should have died.
Yeah, I think he kind of changed targets a little too quick here, trying to even up the damage, so no tank ends up dying. Not the biggest blow in the world, but he's got to be a little careful because, I mean, the more units he loses, the more comfortable ForGG is moving out in the map.
Well, right now we do have some Hydras on the way. The Hive is about to finish. Probably you'll see some Vipers shortly thereafter. Very, very strong against Siege Shanks, both with Abduct as well as Blinding Cloud.
Very, very important for this time of the game here. It's definitely one of the next transitions you want to go for, and try and pick off what you can. Blinding Cloud as many tanks as you can. Try and snipe that third CC. It's really, really important. I mean, you can come from the top. This map layout does give you a couple of angles into a base, and Hydras do so much damage and can snipe a CC very, very quickly.
Well, right now he is walking up into that middle of the map right now, charging up these Vipers, getting ready for another big attack. If ForGG spreads out, sieges up, and is ready for this when it comes in, I think he'll defend it without any real problem, Moonglade.
He should do, especially considering where... Look at that new CC, that 5th CC being put down. It is going to be a planetary. It's going to make nearly impossible to kind of engage into this zone here. So ForGG playing for the late game here, playing the defensive. He wants to get that mech ball up and running and kind of deflect everything that Life wants to throw at him. Because he knows Life is going to be going for these techs, which is that high aggression here. He wants to stop this mech before it goes to the late game, and he's forcing the swarm host and that more uncomfortable style that he doesn't want to play.
Well, right now we do see Life moving forward, trying to kill off whatever he can, pushing forward right now into Siege Shank range, and it looks like he will throw down a very good Blinding Cloud, but some of the Siege Shanks still able to fire.
Yeah, that is a lot of Siege Tanks still firing here. He is trading out. He's kind of resetting the Siege Tank count here, though. But he's losing his whole army to do it. And we see ForGG 20 supply up. That is not good.
Oh, no, that's not good at all. You know, he did kill off some Siege Tanks, one of the most important things to do. That is the backbone of the Terran mech army. But when you trade that many units, I don't know that it's worth it.
I'm not sure either. And I think we saw a lot of damage in the natural here. We kind of missed at the end. But that was a lot of drones that went down, I believe.
Oh. Yeah, 7 drones did in fact die. Kind of wasn't looking there, but some nice harassment still going on. ForGG going to push up and take a 4th. You know what? His third base wasn't that much slower than Life's third. His 4th wasn't much slower than Life's 4th. This is like some really good expansion timing here from ForGG.
And ForGG getting so confident now, he's even moving onto the creep towards Life's base. He might actually have the composition he needs to deal with this here. Life kind of out of position, going for a counterattack. Doesn't really want to deal with it straight up. More and more Vipers being made as well as Hydras, but I don't think he has enough to really fight this army head on.
Yeah, well, he's going to come back with these roaches, and oh no, the Thors are all alone. He's going to be able to pick them off in a matter of seconds. Meanwhile, the rest of the mech army moving forward.
Wow, really, really awkward engagement there. And these tanks are completely out of position. Everything is getting caught out of position. This is so weird. This should not be happening for ForGG, but he still maintains a supply lead of 20. Now down to 10, and I mean, drones are getting roasted in the main as well.
That's right. His Hellbats doing whatever damage they can. He lost that army. It was a little bit sloppy, but he still did a little bit of damage and maintained supply parity.
He did. He did. Very, very weird kind of commitment there. Kind of just accepting that it might be a base trade and then trying to just go into the deep into creep. But Life just turned around and cleaned up things in very awkward positions here. And ForGG still keeping even supply, kind of set up shop here. Does have that 4th base up and running too. A lot of Vikings going to help out against these Vipers, but the tanks are getting shut down. And I think Life has to go for the 4th base now. He has to get rid of it. He has to maintain that base lead here.
Whoa, but he actually decides he wants to go for a full frontal attack here, trying to pick off some more Siege Shanks. Gets 1, gets 2, but he's losing a lot of supply here once again.
Oh, yeah, I do not agree with that. At the same time, Hellion harassment on that 4th base. And more drones went down, 11 that time.
This game is getting down and dirty, Moonglade. Attacks all over the place. SCVs, drones, roaches, Hydras, Siege Tanks, everything dying left and right.
This is a nasty game, Artosis. Everyone Everyone just throwing their units at each other, essentially. But ForGG, mech, super cost-efficient, even in these weird kind of circumstances.
It's hard to believe, but he has been pretty cost-efficient here. Now, do you think Life is kind of panicking and trying to end it too quickly?
I think so. I absolutely think so. He's kind of just throwing himself, trying to reset the tank count again and again, and keep applying pressure. And looks like he wants to get to the factories, perhaps, and he doesn't really want to try and deal with this 4th base, because no doubt there is a planetary at that 4th base. It's going to make it so hard to kind of DPS down before anything comes to help out.
Well, the Banshees fly in here to the 3rd base of Life. Do pick off Queen as well, just kind of hurting him anywhere he possibly can. And ForGG's supply is getting kind of out of control here. He's up at 179, and again, as mech gets over 150 and towards 200 supply, it becomes almost unkillable.
It becomes a ridiculous death ball. I completely agree with you. And ForGG, no doubt, working towards that. Getting that +3 damage upgrade for his mech in air. And Vikings and Thors being added still. I like the kind of composition here. There's a lot of tanks already. And you wanna have a pretty well-rounded death ball at that max.
You know, right now we see Life continuing to pump out Hydras and Roaches and Vipers, which is good. It's good against mech, but do you think he should switch into something else here? Should he try maybe Swarm Host? Should he try Ultralisk? What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of think that this composition, this Roach Hydra composition, does get pretty redundant after a while. It's just too supply heavy, too cost inefficient. He should be maybe going for Swarm Host at this point, but he never really had like a clear, like a decent bank to kind of tech switch into during that harassment. And once again, the economics is just getting, the eco is just getting wiped out here.
Oh my god, 18 more drones going down. ForGG is just throwing these Hellions all over the map, dealing huge amounts of damage to Life. And Life seems to be on the ropes at the moment.
He's just really caught out of position time and time again. These Hellions are finding a way into the bases that it shouldn't. I mean, there's creep everywhere. He should be able to see these Hellions coming. And once again, tanks getting sieged up outside the natural, the 3rd base of Life. And Life still with this army, this Roach Hydra army. I'm not sure if he can actually deal with this.
Well, I think Life is going to go extinct here pretty soon. If these siege tanks move up anymore, Moonglade, it's looking really fantastic right now. But Life decides he's going to go for a counterattack. He can't attack that main army head on. But can he kill this 4th base of ForGG?
I don't even think so. I mean, 2 tanks in position as well as a planetary. Hydra's kind of tanking. Thors and tanks never going to work out. They might get 1 Thor, but losing everything here. And the 6th base with a planetary also set up close to Life. It's a new staging point for ForGG at this point.
All right, well, right now we do have these tanks unsieged. He's moving forward, taking up a new position. A big flank going to be coming in here. The flank coming in from all sides almost, and it looks like, oh no, ForGG going to splatter this army.
Wow.
GG!